Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. I did getting philosophical about Frank's School and last time being philosophical. Now I'm going to say staying philosophical about Frank's School. For a few more videos, I'm wanting to talk about things that are sort of more general. My health, maybe it's returning. Maybe it's returning. I probably will never know what has happened. But shingles is my best guess right now, but I didn't have any rash. I'll probably never know, but I think it's going on 4 weeks that I have been so sore, my muscles and joints and stuff. I don't know. Well, in any case, maybe it's returning. What do they say? You don't appreciate good health until you don't have it. Uh, that'll be amazing to get health back. Maybe. Arboreta, I think, might be the plural of arboretum. An arboretum is a collection of trees. I said arboreti, my Latin, a little rough, plural of neuter, gender, I don't know. Brexit, this is huge news. It's this morning. I turned the TV on. By golly, they did it. England, or Britain has withdrawn they've exited the European Union. Of course, the stock markets are going crazy. Wow. I didn't think they were going to in the long run, but I feel like it's worth it to mention it in this course because that, from my perspective, that is decentralization on a massive scale. But Europe is now going to be less centralized, I think. I mean, that's elsewhere. I've talked so much about decentralization, but I feel like I must comment on that. Normally, I don't talk about what's going on at this moment politically, but that's right now, today. All right, the building of Frank's School. I have said this the fifth year, could be summed up, among other things, as the building, the actual physical building of the campus, the main campus, the camp campus. I'll later explain. That would be the main thing this year. I mean, that's one of the reasons my health has been so important because I'm doing the building. But actually, it might end in the long run be more accurate to call this the fencing of Frank's School because the way I build, a fence becomes a building. Fences and buildings are interrelated. And elsewhere later, I'll talk more about that and building with pallets and how that's true. But so maybe I should lower my expectations or be more clear and say, well, this year I'm fencing it. Those goats, I don't want to say they're a problem. They're in a lot of ways they're a delight. Although the billy goat, the buck, I continue to say he's dangerous, and I won't miss him when he's gone. But I really need to have a better way to control them all the time, not just wander around by themselves or with me. So anyway, the fencing of Frank's School, maybe that's what the fifth year will be. And maybe that will then in another year, next year, can be enjoying the building of Frank's School, actually enjoying it. It's such a battle, it's such a struggle right now. I feel so especially because of this injury and my health, but if someone wants to help me, and I think people do, and they will, it's not so much fun to wait while I stand there and think and scratch my head and look at this and how am I going to do this? Everything is kind of a one-of-a-kind situation. That's okay maybe for me. It's strenuous, but it's not as much fun for somebody else to stand around and say, well, what do I do while you stand there and think? Matthew, my apprentice, his comment, I was sharing this with him a little bit, and I said, boy, there's going to come a day where we're not going to be we're in the mud trying to level up a building and the windmill sandwich. He said, no, he says, this is fun. I said, that's so hard. He says, well, the harder the better. The harder the more fun. Where do you come up with somebody that can think like that? But I don't know. I think realistically, for most people, it would be much more fun if they could actually just build something that had been done before and it was a little more clear what they were doing. Like, there's the prototype. We're building that, and we're doing it here. I think that will be so much easier and more fun. Maybe one or two couples in a year. 19 or what would it be, 2017, April. Could there be such people that would be so enterprising that they would? It wouldn't have to be a couple. It could just be one person. But the thing is, I've got to get a place ready where they can, if they're adventurous enough, where they could actually lay their head down to sleep, eat a meal and stuff. And once they're here, I mean, they could go on with the building and the making of it better. That would be really cool if that would happen. Woofers? I'm not ready. I have a friend here who has woofers. She was here. I got my Nubian goat from her, Dawn, and she said, "You ought to get woofers." And I said, I'm just not ready. I couldn't, unless they wanted to camp out in the woods. Well, there may be such people. Well, I don't know. And I'll back to here too. I was saying enjoying the building of Frank School, or the roofing of Frank School, actually putting the roofs on all these buildings. I may save that, let them go unroofed. They can. It won't hurt them for until next year. All right, and I didn't mention new wood. That's also such a luxury. I have been going through all this old wood, and I love old wood, and I'm proud to save it. Extreme recycling of wood. I keep talking about that. But there's eventually going to be an end to that, and I will have used up the old wood, mostly as subfloors. It's outside just in stacks anyway, but little by little I'm using it up. And then I use new wood. I actually go to the sawmill and buy new wood. Oh, is that ever nice? What a treat. And then finally, I wrote down July deadline. In my mind, I don't know if I've said this before, in my mind, it was a year ago that, 2 years ago, I had said to my wife, I need 1 year that I can devote to all these things that I have been starting on the farm. And she said, I think you need 2 years. And after a while, I said, yeah, you're right, thanks, I need 2 years. Well, 2 years will be up in July. And by that time, I didn't mean to say that I would have them finished, but I would make a decision about whether or not I would go on with it, or I would just start to reverse myself and come back, and ultimately, well, later on I'll explain what might happen there, but I mean just kind of start cleaning the mess up. And so anyway, the July deadline's coming up. I think I can safely say by now that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to back up. Not now. So I think that decision has been made, but it's not easy. Okay, I hope I've been a little briefer today. I'm still going to be philosophical, but I've also got some things to show you outside, so it'll be mixed. Bye for now.